Hello, future Chanticleers and all of those family members that are out there watching with us today. My name's Kevellin. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions Events here at Coastal Carolina, and I wanted to take a few moments with you this morning, this afternoon, whatever it may be, and take you through some information that you would need to know about Coastal Carolina as a senior or a rising senior and our family members. That way you have the information you need to know about Coastal Carolina and everything we have to offer. So we're going to hop right in this presentation. And I first have to say welcome to Till Nation. Till Nation is an entity that comes from Coastal Carolina because we are number one CNO. That's what that stands for. That's something that you'll hear a lot on campus as well. But again, welcome to Till Nation. We're going to hop right in. Now, I was a student of Coastal Carolina University. I graduated with the class of 2017. So the next few things I'm going to talk about, I was able to see happen right in front of me. Now, we were named second in the South among all schools in the best value category, and we've been on that list for 11 years. 11 years is a long time. We started out at 8. We went from 8 to 6, 6 to 2, and we've been holding steady at number 2 for the past 3 years now. So that really speaks to the value your students are getting from their education here at Coastal Carolina University. Now, we want to talk about some other accolades that are really special to us as well. Now, all of these accolades are coming from U.S. News and World Report. We were number 10 in the South among all schools in the best undergraduate teaching programs. Top 17 public schools, most innovative at coming in at number 19. And then one I think is also amazing, 73 in top performers in social mobility. So number 73 out of all the schools nationwide for social mobility is a great thing for our students, especially if they're looking to come in, gain some of those social skills, and then take those out into the world and excel. Last, certainly not least, a military-friendly school is what Coastal Carolina is, and we have been for the past 8 years. I am the dependent of a veteran. My father was in the military, so I know what it's like to have to use some of these benefits. And we have a full service department that's going to help you when you get here on campus and even before, make sure those benefits are in the right place and they're being given to you in the right time. So that is something that's available for our students out there as well. Now, we want to hop into Coastal Carolina. We want to talk about it overall for a few moments. Now, 10,400 students, and that's our entire population. That's our undergraduate, our graduate, and then our Ph.D. seeking students. Now, our undergraduate students and our graduate students have 5 different colleges to choose from in terms of their education. And right now they have over 190 programs of study. That current actual number is 102, if I'm not mistaken. So your students have a lot to choose from in terms of their academics here at Coastal Carolina. Now, we do want to talk about the classroom and the people that are teaching your students. We have a 16-to-1 student-faculty ratio. So when your student comes in the classroom, they're going to see between 27 students typically. And as they work their way through that major program, those numbers are going to drop significantly, usually around the 25 mark there. Now, our class cap for the campus is 35, so you're never going to see a classroom with more than 35 students. That way, it allows our professors to get to know the students in their classroom and make sure they're getting the specific help that they need, and then vice versa for our students so that they feel, they feel like they can reach out and get the help that they need from their professors. Now, our professors here have 79% of faculty and staff have doctoral terminal degrees. And that just really means they've reached the highest level of education. We're going to get into some of our academic colleges here in a moment, and I'll tell you about how some of those professors are getting into some research work with our students. But that's really good because they've reached the highest level of education, and your students are being educated by, the most knowledgeable in those fields. So that's an amazing thing there. But we're going to hop right into it. The Craig E. Wall College of Business. This is AACSB accredited, which you can see down there on that slide. That's a premier business accreditation that puts us in the top 5% of business schools internationally. And so we focus a lot on experiential learning here at Coastal Carolina too, and we'll talk a little bit about that also. Now, with our accounting, economics, finance, marketing, management, and hospitality resort tourism management majors, we want to make sure our students are able to graduate and leave Coastal Carolina with some hands-on experience. Now, the students you see sitting up here in that little group, those are our Wall Fellows. This is a fellowship program that you get to seek out your sophomore year as a part of that college. And if you're accepted into the program, you're going to be working with some of our executive initiatives, doing some internship work and things like that, learning how to be a corporate executive, high-level executive. That way, when you leave, you already have some real-world experience, some hands-on experience that will better help you sell yourself to some of those employers out there. Now, the second college you want to talk about is the Spadoni College of Education. Now, it's also accredited outside of our university's accreditation, and that's called NCAPE. Now, this NCAT accreditation means that our education students can leave Coastal Carolina after their 4 years and immediately start teaching in any of the 50 states. That means Hawaii. If you want to go, across the nation to California, you want to go up to New York, down to Florida, you can even go to Puerto Rico and Guam with this NCAT accreditation. And so that leaves our students with a lot more time and a lot more money after they graduate to get into their field and actually start working. Now, if you want to teach in the high school level, you want to get into that 9 through 12, you're going to stay for our MAT. So your master's in the art of teaching, you're going to study that specific study area. So your math, your science, your English, whatever it may be. And then you're going to get that MAT. That's an 18-month program that gives you the same reciprocity as our undergraduate students to go into the classroom and immediately start teaching. Now, we are a liberal arts institution by trade, so Edwards College of Humanities and Fine Arts houses the most majors here at Coastal Carolina, and I would also like to say some of the most unique majors. Now, of course, we have your traditional communication, graphic design, journalism, things like that, but then we also have some really unique majors in here. We have 2 BFA programs. We have a theater program, which includes musical theater, physical theater, acting, design, and technology, and then we have a music program as well that receives a Bachelor's of Fine Arts. And that's teacher preparation, commercial music, jazz, and then instruments as well. So those are our 2 BFA programs that are really interesting. But then we have an Intelligence and National Security Studies program. That program right now is 1 in 18 in the nation. So students are coming into Coastal Carolina with an amazing opportunity to be at the top of graduating classes in a field that's ever growing here in the nation. One cool thing about that program, and I mentioned some experiential learning opportunities, in the fall, the goal is to open a intelligence briefing lab for these students so that they can go in there, they can receive some information, and they can figure out how to work around and create an intelligence brief, and then how to present that brief to the people that need to make those decisions. So that's a really cool opportunity for those students to come here and get some of the top of the line education in that field. Now, we want to move on to the Gupta College of Science. This is really special to our hearts here at Coastal Carolina because 50% of our students reside in this college. Our number 1 program coming out of this college is our marine science program. You've seen some pictures of students scroll through there in the lab and working with those sea turtles. We have one of the biggest and best programs in the Southeast in terms of marine science, and we can say that because of some of the resources we have for students. We have a 1,000-acre barrier island dedicated solely to research, never been developed on. Our students get to get out there their first and second semester. They're studying salinity, and they're also studying a little bit of marine geology, and that's going to get them started. And that type of experiential learning, hands-on work, is going to follow them all the way through their senior year here at Coastal. And then they can even matriculate into our master's and Ph.D. program in marine and wetland studies. But we do have some really cool majors coming out of here as well. We have our psychology and sociology program. Those have specific focuses in social justice and forensic psychology. But then we also do have your bio, your chemistry, and your biochemistry. And then these are also going to help our students that want to go into the medical field. So whether that's pre-med, pre-dental, pre-vet, you're going to work within these majors and with our pre-health advisory committee to help, make a good, clear path for you to transition into a medical program once you graduate. Now, this last college we're going to talk about is the HTC Honors College and Center for Interdisciplinary Studies. This college is really close to my heart because I was a graduating student from here. And so you might be thinking, oh, he's an honor student. Not so much. Me and math didn't really get along when I was a student, but I was a part of the Center for Interdisciplinary Studies. I knew when I got into about my junior year that I want to advocate the need for post-secondary education to high school graduating seniors or just people in the community that are looking for a reason to learn. And so standing right here in front of you all today, doing exactly that. So the Center for Interdisciplinary Studies offers students with a very unique pathway to graduate and to get out into the world and doing exactly what they want to do. I graduated with a degree in student affairs, focusing in leadership and diversity. We've had others graduate as speech pathologists, art therapists, music therapists, and then we've also had marine photographers as well. So again, if you're a student with a really unique path, Coastal Carolina can help you create that path and then get you out on that journey once you've graduated. But the other college, the HTC Honors College, that's going to house our honor students. Students are going to study in any of our other colleges, and they're going to graduate with the honors distinction, and that's going to show employers and things like that once they transition from undergraduate to maybe graduate studies or into their career, that they undertook an extra level of rigor when they were learning the things that they needed to make this transition. And so that shows a little bit more zealous from our students. So just think of that. That's an opportunity that all of our students have. When you apply for Coastal Carolina, you get 300 words to tell us what you could add to our honors college. So take that opportunity and take that chance, and maybe it'll pay off for you. there. But we want to move a little bit away from academics and talk about our clubs and organizations. One thing we like to say here at Coastal Carolina is that we want to graduate a global citizen. And we think being involved and being hands-on in the classroom helps with that, but also being involved with our clubs and organizations outside of the classroom. As you can see, we have over 160 clubs and organizations. That includes Greek Life, our faith-based organizations, our WCCU radio, and then our Chanticleer newspaper. So you can join clubs that add a little bit of side interest to your major, or you can join clubs that have nothing to do with your major just to meet some cool people and make a community for yourself. So we do have those opportunities there for you. If you don't see a club or organization that interests you specifically, we do have the opportunity for you to create your own. It takes finding a faculty advisor and then finding 7 other students plus yourself to make that club and organization a thing. And then our Office of Student Life can help you recruit members, get funding and things like that so that you can keep that organization up and running while you're here at Coastal. Now we want to talk about some athletics. That's a huge thing for us here at Coastal Carolina, and our athletic programs are growing very vastly. You probably know we won the College World Series in 2016, our baseball team. We're going to hold on to that until we win another one. But another cool thing that says something about our student athletes, our baseball team also had the highest GPA out of all teams in that. So we like to say they were winners on and off the field, but being a student athlete here at Coastal Carolina is amazing. I've heard some great stories from those students, but we have 19 NCAA Division I athletic programs. We're taking over the nation in terms of athletics. We've won that College World Series. Our women's volleyball team are taking home that conference titles year after year. Men's and women's golf, women's softball, and then of course our football team is working to pump up some of that competition as well. Cool fact, we're going to be hosting the Myrtle Beach Bowl in conjunction with ESPN events starting in the fall of 2020. And we'll be holding that bowl up until the fall of 2025 as well. Hopefully we can get into some of that competitive arenas to get into that bowl game and actually compete while it's here on our campus. But moving aside from athletics, I was telling you we're taking over the nation. This map shows you how many applications we get and where we get them from. As you can see, a lot of those applications are coming up and down that I-95 corridor that stretches up to New York, down to Florida. But we also get applications from all 50 states. Now, I'm actually the admissions counselor for the 27 most western states. So if you're seeing California, Hawaii, Arizona, Washington, those are all me. And then I also have Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Kentucky. So if you come from any of those states, I'm your guy. Reach out to me and we would love to have some contact and conversation. But if not, we can get you in contact with your admissions counselor to help you out with that application. Now, we get over 15,000 applications here at Coastal Carolina with an acceptance rate of just about 61%, I believe. So we want to talk about what that means, what it takes to get accepted as a student here at Coastal Carolina. Now, these are middle 50% ranges here. So out of our freshman class, 50% of them fall somewhere within these ranges. Now, GPA is going to be 3.0 to a 3.7, and that is, yes, your weighted GPA. Your ACT is going to be a 20 to a 24, and your SAT is going to be a 1020 to an 1170. Now, we don't look at the writing portions for either the ACT or the SAT, but I always tell our students to make sure you take it just in case you're applying to another college that does. That way you have a score for that. But as long as you fall within these middle 50% ranges there, you're good to be admitted and to come on into Coastal if we're your number one choice. But if not, if you fall in below in some of these categories, this is a sliding scale for us here at Coastal. So if you fall below a 3.0, you're going to want to shoot for the top ranges of these test scores and then vice versa. So if your test score is a little low, you're going to want to shoot between that 3.5 and up. That way some of these scores balance out themselves. We do a holistic review here at Coastal Carolina. So we do take a look at everything that you submit, your application, any supporting documents and things like that. So be mindful. But I do want to let you know of something really awesome that's happening at Coastal Carolina in this upcoming fall. We will be going test optional. That's an announcement we made here recently. That's going to mean our students can come in without taking the SAT and ACT test. But there is a caveat to that. You have to have a 3.5 GPA in order to participate. There are going to be some supplemental documents that you do have to provide so that we can make this decision. And we'll have that information on our website here very soon under our frequently asked questions page. So be on the lookout for that. That's really exciting for us here at Coastal Carolina and in the community. It's going to give us the opportunity to reach some more students that we haven't been able to in the past. But if I have any transfer students tuned in, we want to talk about your requirements as well. 2.0 is our minimum GPA for our transfer students, but on average, you come in right around with that 2.9. If you can turn that 2.9 into a 3.0, we'll talk about some merit awards that are available for our transfer students here in a moment. But we also ask that you come in with at least 24 transferable credits. And this is including non-remedial classes. So if you have non-remedial classes, those aren't included in the 24 credits. Now, if you have less than 24 credits, we're just going to look back at some of that high school information, your test scores, and possibly that high school transcript. So just be mindful of that. If you have questions as to how that transfer process works, give us a call. We've got some amazing transfer people in the office that can help you walk through that or figure out some of the classes you need to take to be successful before you transfer here to Coastal Carolina. Now, there are 2 dates up here and then some more information. The dates are pertaining to our merit awards, which we're going to talk about here in just one second. But when you're applying to Coastal Carolina, there are some things that we need to complete your application before we can make a review. We're going to need the application itself, the $45 application fee, the transcript, and the test scores. Now, with the test optional coming up that I just mentioned, that's going to look a little bit different, and we will be able to answer those concrete questions for you in just a few moments in the here coming week. And so once you have those things, it's going to take us 3 weeks to make that decision for you. And then from there, 3 weeks is going to be your merit award decision. And so December 1 that you see on the board is going to be for our freshmen. If you have a complete application, so all those items I previously listed to us by December 1, you're going to be reviewed at a priority status for merit awards. And this thing is working the same for our transfers. We've got June 1. So this upcoming June 1 is going to be that merit award deadline for our fall of 20 and spring of 21. So just be cognizant of that as you're working to get these packets together and you're working to apply to Coastal. That way you know what the timeline looks like and what you can expect from us. All right, now we do have to talk about tuition here at Coastal Carolina, and we wanted to show you the most expensive price that you could look to pay. So all of the prices that you see here, those are going to be the most expensive option. So our tuition, that's for 12 to 15 credits, fall and spring semester. The housing price you see there is for fall and spring semester, the most expensive option. Those are our Elvington Loop properties, the newest residential properties we have for students here on campus. And then the meal plan is going to be your unlimited meal plan. That's going to be the most expensive as well. And there are 2 other options for our incoming freshmen under those that you can choose from. Now, this is the most that you would see coming from Coastal Carolina having the most expensive options. And we wanted this number to be able to go down, if at all. So depending on what you want your accommodations to be, you can decrease these numbers just a little bit when coming into Coastal Carolina. Now, 86% of our students receive some sort of financial aid or scholarships via the FAFSA or loans or things like that. So go ahead. October 1 every year is when the FAFSA opens. And last year, we rounded out about $175 million for our students in terms of financial aid and scholarships. I will be really honest with you. A lot of that money is loans, but we always tell our students to fill out that FAFSA. That way you make sure you know what you have in your back pocket in terms of paying for your education and maybe some assistance. But aside from that, we do have some scholarships that I want to tell you about today. We have some CEF scholarships. They're Coastal Educational Foundation scholarships. These you can access once you become a student. So if you've applied, been accepted, and enrolled, you can find these on your web advisor or our financial aid awards page. These run in cycles, kind of particular scholarships for particular students. So make sure you read through some of those. We also have some CNO scholarships that are application based as well. So when you're looking for those, you can find those again on our web advisor or your financial aid. But feel free, students, to get out there and look for some external scholarships. When I was a student, I actually won a scholarship for being able to tell my story via an empowering lens. And so I was tasked with writing my growing up story, my coming of age story in a storytelling, essentially. And so I won $500 for that. And that was a scholarship that was out there new. So again, take a day or so every week, fill out some of those external scholarships. You never know what could come back and help you with paying that education. You do have the opportunity to seek out grants and loans as well. If you need help figuring out some reputable places to get that, feel free to reach out to our financial aid and scholarships office, and they'll be able to help you find some resources and give you some good information there. Now, if I have any accepted students out there and you're watching this, I want to first say congratulations to you all. We know your senior year is not ending the way you want to, but we want to still say congratulations, and we don't want to make any of that work be vain because we know it took a lot to get here and it's going to take a lot to keep going. But we do have some information for you if you're accepted and Coastal Carolina is your number one choice. You're going to pay that $100 enrollment deposit. That's going to be the first thing. That $100 enrollment deposit is going to save your spot in our fall 2020 freshman class here at Coastal Carolina there. And that's going to open up the other portals you need to get done with some of your housing and orientation. Now, housing, once you apply for that, it's $150 prepayment. It's going to include starting phase 1. Phase 1 is going to be all about you as the student, your preferences in and outside of the classroom, in and outside of your residence hall. And from there, you're going to move into phase 2 with your roommates And you all are going to decide down to the bed you want to sleep in where you're going to be living here on campus. So that process has already begun. The timeline has been adjusted due to our current circumstances. So visit the housing webpage to see about some of those options there. And then in terms of orientation, it's mandatory for all of our students. So that's something that you're going to have to pay attention to. And that's changed as well. Historically, it's been 1 month during the summer, but because of, again, our current situation, we've had to modify that a little bit. Orientation for our incoming students is working in a 5-part phase. The first few phases of that are going to be online. It's going to be correspondence back and forth with you as the student and us as the university, specifically your academic advisor. Once you've made it through the first phase, you're going to get to chat with your advisor, see some of the classes that are required of you, and then submit a proposed schedule. Then your advisor is going to come back and they're going to talk to you about what they were able to create and why. And then you're going to get to talk to your orientation leader. And then some of that final things are going to happen here on campus with us in August, right before you move in. So just be aware of that timeline and some of the changes that have come there. If you have any questions, reach out. We would love to help. You can reach out to New Student and Family Programs if you would like, or you can reach out to us and we would do our best. But I think that's all I have for you today. We're going to get you out on that virtual tour. If you have any questions for us in the office, feel free to reach out to your admissions counselor. You can find us all on the Meet Your Counselor page on the website, or you can give the office a call at 1-800-277-7000. And I'll leave everybody with a simple "Shant's up." Have a great day and stay healthy.